Premiums are a very interesting and also sometimes fickle concept. The fact that one coin can be worth an awful lot more than another, even though their metal content is the same, is always fascinating to me. And especially when you get really rare coins like these die rotation errors. So let's talk today about premiums, about how we evaluate them and make the best decisions for our stacking journeys. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a warm welcome to you all joining me for another precious metal ramble. Now, the condition of coins is super important. It helps retain value above the price of metal. But is it something that you should maybe target when entering into silver and gold in the first place? Are premium coins or coins with premiums attached to them worth buying at all? Well, it's a completely different market to bullion, that's for sure, and the condition of the coins that you buy can often determine whether or not something is of interest to collectors. And when you get something that is potentially of interest to collectors, those premiums tend to go up quite a lot. To put in perspective, this is a Era Britannia. That queen's head on its side is not normal, and these coins will of course garner a significant price over spot price. We're talking hundreds of pounds more in value. We've had 2023 versions. These are 22 versions, by the way, so new errors that have just come to light. And they will, of course, get huge prices over spot price. So the premiums that we are seeing at the moment on bullion coins, in my opinion, do not make massive sense. If you have coins like US Eagles, which are literally just the same as other coins made like US Eagles, why are the premiums so high on them? Well, it comes down, of course, to supply and demand and that whole question of economics and whether or not really there are people out there in this world that will still attribute value to them. And people are still willing to pay larger sums of money on some of these bullion coins because they think that it'll be okay in the future to sell it at the same similar premium. However, it is not always the case with those coins. From my experience, what you really have to look for on the premium side of things is scarcity. It's something that is unique and different, or just generally something that's going to excite people at the other end of the ownership of the coin. And when you have things like this, which is a known error now, a 80 or so degree die rotation, it certainly does make it an interesting concept for a collector to get hold of. And you're just not going to get that with bullion grade coins that are at a premium right now. So these Era Britannias, they're pretty cool, they're very interesting, and they are up for sale right now over on eBay. I've got them listed on behalf of a third party, and if you are interested in them, then I've put links in the description boxes below. But in terms of general premium, my thoughts are as follows. If you have a set of coins, like proof coins, they have already been delineated from a bullion version. They are different. They have that proof quality to them. They are unique in that they have a lower mintage. But they're not completely unique out there, of course, because a mintage on proof coins could still have thousands. It's about whether or not something then becomes desirable. And I've always talked in my tenure about buying coins with premiums attached to them about a rule of 3. Now, the mintage that I've talked about there plays a really significant role. But besides mintage, there are two other elements which I always factor in when looking at whether or not something is a worthwhile investment in terms of premium. And the second biggest thing for me is about the buzz that comes from a particular coin. Is it something that people are going to be interested in? Now, you could have a beautiful coin with a mintage of 10, let's call it, a tiny mintage. There could only be 10 or so of these Era Britannias out there. We just don't necessarily know them. Probably, undoubtedly, there are more than 10, but you could have something as little as single digits as a mintage of a coin. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be amazing. Is it of a theme that's interesting? Is it of a concept that's interesting? Or is it a unique and very cool era that's like this particular mint Era Britannia? There are definitely coins out there that fit those boxes. The last thing that I always look at, the third element of whether or not evaluating premium is a good idea, and that is the general sort of popularity of the coin. Is it going to be quick to sell? Now, when you have premium coins like these, and let's hypothesize that these eBay auctions are going to go for hundreds of pounds per coin, which I have no doubt that they probably will. Are there going to be hundreds and thousands of people out there in this world that will want to buy them? Probably not. There are very niche levels of collection, or collectors I should say, for error coins like this, and they are not easy to come by in any stretch of the imagination, as in the collectors, not the coins. It takes quite a lot of guts to spend hundreds of pounds on an error coin like this, and you're not necessarily going to be able to quickly liquidate it, and it's about that speed of liquidation if you were needing to do so. So that's kind of my rule of three for evaluating the kind of coins that are at really high premiums. But I use that method also for things like bullion coins. So for right now, let's take a bog standard Britannia. If it wasn't a error Britannia, you can buy brand new Britannias from dealers right now at around the £30, £32 per ounce mark, because they have their premium, they have their VAT on top of them. Or you can buy them second hand for a lot less, £25 an ounce, £23, £24 an ounce, depending on their quality. So from my perspective, what do I look for when I'm buying my silver bullion? If I'm buying Britannias, I really don't care if they're in perfect condition. If I was going to buy a Britannia, it's because I want to keep my money safe in terms of capital gains tax exemption status. If we look at the comparison between buying a brand new, beautiful premium Britannia with no issues attached to it, as opposed to just a generic milky coin, the liquidity in my mind for the milky coins is much better. Now, when we extrapolate this to some of the coins out there in this world that are garnering ridiculously high premiums right now, including US Eagles, I still do not think by any stretch of the imagination they are a decent price right now. When you're spending, nearly 100% markup on a bullion coin, yes, there is a market for that right now in terms that there are people who still think it's a good deal. But when that cookie crumbles, when that realization comes back around full circle, that you're not necessarily going to get that price out of it at the other end, people are not going to want to pay it. And it's happening already. There are lots of people who don't want to buy them. There's a contingent of stackers out there that still think that buying Eagles at double spot price is a good course of action. I would say that is probably wrong. But, it's each to their own in terms of the evaluation of where you attribute value. And the fact that we humans will attribute value in a very different way, I think is self-evident in things like this coin here, which the Error Britannia will get a couple of £100 for. And at the end of the day, it's still a 1 ounce silver coin. There is no fundamental difference in its metal content and its true metal value. We just attribute extra value to it because it's out of the usual. It's not normal. So that's my kind of take on the whole world of silver coins. And look at the sun. I'm filming very early in the morning. It's come streaming through the window. But here we have a beautiful rendition of some lovely premium silver coins. So premiums are a fickle thing. They're an interesting concept, and they certainly do make a world of difference in terms of the price of coins, of course. And it'd be interesting to know what you guys think about where your limit would be for premiums. It would be amazing to hear from you in the comment section. So we'll see you on the next video. If you're interested in these 5 error coins, they are all listed on my eBay page right now. There are links in the description box below to those listings, and you can go and bid. There are definite good reasons to own mint error Britannias, but they are of course not for the faint of heart, because they will probably go for quite a premium price. That said, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.